Hi, intuitive viewers. How's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. I started to get ready for bed, as you can see, and I decided to jump on because I was getting information and I needed to tell you guys. Actually, stuff with Trump has been coming like all day. So I just want to tell you guys about that. And I'm not going to go into like a big long video. I'm going to go on in the next couple of days and I'll do like my normal shout outs and stuff like that. But I did want to tell you that I want to thank you so much for all the amazing stories and comments that you guys sent out after my last video. Not only were you really super Miss Lucy, really super supportive of me, but also, you know, when I talked about having these spiritual experiences that you can have that are non-physical, where you feel someone either leaving this realm, like when they pass away, or when you're just not together, and there's something that happens where you're still connected. And I've read the most amazing, I haven't gotten through all of them because there's a lot of comments, but when you open the door to stuff like this, it's so interesting how many people have had these experiences. You think when you have something like that it's just you, but it's really not. They're very, very, and they'll be happening even more. You know, this is we're coming into an age where this stuff is going to be just more and more prevalent, more and more mainstream. It will be openly discussed and talked about, you know, not just on YouTube, but, you know, on television and in sitcoms and whatever. You know, it'll just be like mainstream, which will be nice. You know, it'll be nice to have that experience and to see that happen. But I just did want to thank you because I know that coming out with it even though it's in a forum like YouTube where, you know, and that's why it's so nice to have this community where you feel safe, you feel like you can talk about these things, but it's still scary to come out and do this. I know that feeling. And so I'm happy that you guys have kind of taken that opportunity to talk about these experiences and share them. They're incredible, incredible experiences. The one thing I did want to tell you guys is that so many of the experiences, it's like I had this, and there's just like this whole experience that they've had about this, you know, amazing, interaction with the spirit that left this complete, you know, physical and emotional impression on you. And then it's done, and afterwards it's like, was that a visitation? Or was that real? Or was that? And I feel like, you know, you're asking me to validate it, but what I want to tell you is that it's absolutely real. And the best advice that I can give you is to stop that inner struggle, that inner tug of war about, is it real? Is it not real? Is it real? Is it not real? Because the moment you just say to yourself, that was a real experience. I've never had anything like that before, or if I do, it's unusual. I'm going to get Lucy because she clearly wants to be on camera. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Here she is. Here's our girl. She is full of beans again, so everything's good. Everything's all good, so she's doing well. Once you stop that inner kind of tug of war, that inner back and forth with yourself, is this real? Is this not real? Once you can stop that and just surrender to the experience, this is what happened, and just say thank you. That's all you have to do, is just accept it as what it was and say thank you. Because when you do that, there's a peace that comes with that. There's a, once you stop that struggle, you open the door for more. I talk about this in my classes, that you really need to take that kind of leap of faith in saying, this is what happened. I accept it. Thank you. Once you do that, you open the door for more experiences. It's almost as if you kind of need to let your guides know, or let your relatives know, or whoever is contacting you, or let the spirit realm know that you got it, and you're thankful for it, and that you're open to it. There's something that opens up when you do that. I don't understand all the ins and outs of it, but I know that the energy changes. There's a consciousness or energy shift once you say, that was amazing. That was something that was from spirit. It was a gift from spirit, or it was a gift from my relative, or it was them saying goodbye. Once you acknowledge it and just say that's what it was, there's a consciousness shift. There's an energy shift that opens you up to more. So I just want to give that advice to you. If you're having that inner struggle, you don't need me to tell you. This was a really unique experience, and it was something. Maybe I don't understand it all, but I accept what it was, and thank you. That's the best advice I can give you as far as getting moving along on this journey and having more experiences. If you want more experiences, maybe you say, that was really great, but I don't think I'm ready for this. That's okay too. But once you just accept what has happened and accept it and say thank you, there is an energy shift. There's a consciousness shift that invites more in. Okay? I just wanted to give you guys that little piece of advice. I do want to tell you that I got a few people asking about certain states, and I don't have them all up here with me because I kind of just jumped on because I wanted to get this message out to you guys. I know Texas is one. People want to know about Florida. Florida, I have to say I go back and forth because I feel like there's going to be a lot of cheating in Florida. I feel like if they didn't cheat and it was completely fair, it would probably go to Biden. But I do feel like there's going to be a lot of messing around in Florida. So that remains to be seen. Texas, for some reason, I see it going blue. I don't know why that is. I know it's neck and neck, and I know that, they could have just as much weirdness going on in Texas, but for some reason I'm seeing that as being for the Democrats for whatever reason. I also see the same thing with Arizona. Another surprise I think might be Georgia. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? That would be so amazing if we got Georgia. But I had said before, and I stick with the fact that I feel like everything they do is just kind of off. They're looking at Florida, but they lose Texas. They look at North Carolina, but they lose Georgia. It's kind of like everything is and again it has to do, from what I understand from my guides, is that it has to do with this supportive spirit energy, because those instincts, that instinct that comes from a higher place or your higher self, you need to be plugged in with your higher self to get that. So if you're not, it's like, guessing again and again and again and always getting it wrong because you're just not connected in that way. And I'm not saying Trump ever was connected in that way. He has baseline, instincts that he goes with. I am mean to people, I lie, and I bully people, and that's his game plan. And so he only has a few tricks up his sleeve. There aren't like there's a whole bunch of tricks up his sleeves, but for politics, they were new 4 years ago. Now they're not new anymore, and everybody's tired of it. So that's the end of that. I asked my guides something I ask all the time. What's going to happen to Donald Trump? I just ask it all the time. When I do this work for the channel, I'm constantly gathering information, and then I kind of put it together and I come to you guys and say, okay, this is what I got. The weird thing was tonight, and this is why I jumped on, was because I saw a funeral scene and he was there, but it was like him and Melania, like the family. Everybody was in black. It was pouring rain. They all had like black umbrellas. And I couldn't see that they were standing in like a cemetery or anything like that, but it had the feel and the look of people in mourning. Okay. And I do think it's mourning a something that could have been, or something that almost was. because I feel like in a way they're kind of mourning themselves, which is kind of weird. But because I don't think it's like, I don't think I was seeing somebody's death. It didn't feel like that. It felt very symbolic, and it really felt like they were mourning their own existence, their own lives, what has become of this opportunity they had and squandered. I did feel a lot of weight on the kids, like his kids. I feel like they're going to get they'll be affected the longest, and they'll have to kind of refigure out their way out, back into society in a normal way. It'll take a long time, but that's what I saw. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. And when I saw that, it also reminded me a long time ago when I got it was during, I think it was right after the Mueller report came out, and we were kind of disappointed because so much was in there, but, William Barr stuck his face into the process, and, kind of messed it up basically, and, threw people off the scent, and didn't get the acknowledgement that it deserved, really. But it was right around that time we were all kind of feeling like, oh, that was lame, but I knew it was okay. I knew that it was just, I knew he had handed stuff off to people. I knew the investigations would keep going, and I just knew that it would be okay. But we were all kind of deflated a little bit. And, as we have been, at different times over the last few years. But I remember maybe you guys remember this, but I woke up from sleeping in the morning, and I could hear cheers, and it was like a crowd, like a ball game crowd, and I could hear an announcer saying, Donald Trump has just suffered the greatest defeat in history. And I remember just jumping out of bed, being like, he's going to lose. He is going to lose, and he's going to lose bad. And at the time, I remember bringing this to you guys and saying, this is what's going to happen. And I understood why someone wouldn't believe it because of where we were at the time. But I just was so sure in that moment that he was just going to be devastated, and he was going to be sent packing, and that would be that. And so I just wanted to remind you guys of that. And it was a sadder feeling. And I think it's because of what the country is suffering from now. I think the whole country is in mourning. And the idea that they would mourn themselves is so fitting to me, because they're such a selfish family. That all they can think about it is themselves and what they get and what they want. And they're not getting how hurt the country is right now, how devastated it is. So I wanted to also tell you guys that I got something about the debates. What I have gotten is that Trump thinks it's a waste of time. He'd rather do a rally. He thinks nothing good's going to come of it. They're going to cut my mic. Everybody's against me. He's getting into this kind of paranoia phase. And he's going to say, this isn't good for me, so I'd rather do a rally. Okay. His people, I feel right now, they would like him to do it, but be normal. They like him to do it, but do one of those kind of controlled Trump performances where it's kind of boring, but it's controlled and it's normal. And I feel like that's what they're pushing for. So I feel like there's a kind of a tug of war going on right now, where he's like an infant, as he always is, and he doesn't want to do it, but they would like him to do it because they think it could bring back maybe some of these Republicans who've left. They're worried, they're nervous, they're looking ahead at their own careers and thinking this is going to be a disaster. So they're trying to get him to see the the wisdom in it. The problem is that I feel like right now, I just heard it's the drugs. Okay, so he must still be on, and I just saw a medication bottle. It must be, he must still be on something for COVID or something that he's taking, because I feel like that is making him extra irritable, extra angry, extra, dangerous, not careful with what he says. Can you hear Lucy panting? It's warm. It's warm today. There's something about him making plans to leave if he loses. Didn't he say that recently, that he was going to leave the country or something in a rally or something? Because I feel like he's literally making plans to leave if he loses. Yeah, nothing is going the way that he expected. And his team, nothing's going the way that it's supposed to. Everything is off. And he's angry with his... he feels like his family hasn't gone to bat enough for him. He feels like they haven't been out there enough. They haven't said enough. They haven't done enough. He's angry with his family. He feels like people stole from him. He feels like people stole from him. Like, he's thinking like people, I'm thinking like people in the campaign or something. He's thinking people stole from him, stole money from him. He's very angry though. And he's coming across as angry. And so his people are trying to get him to, they're trying to pump him up. But they're not thinking ahead. Because I feel like it's almost like they're pumping him up and being like, yeah, we're going to win, we're going to do. But in the back of their mind, be like, but we're going to lose. And what happens when we lose? He's going to lose his shiz. He's going to freak out. Bill Barr is working on something. Because I just heard, like, he's in the shadows. He's in the weeds. It's like he's really searching. He's looking. He's working on something. And he's trying to find a way out. I feel like it's almost like he's trying to do enough to like placate Trump, but try to preserve his reputation and then find the door. He knows this is a sinking ship. He knows it is, whether he'll admit it or not. But he's still he's arrogant enough to think like, well, but maybe I can do this or that. So he's searching. But he isn't who he used to be. He's not as, I would say as bright. He's not as detailed as he once was. He's not as sharp as he once was. He's lazy. He's not willing to put in the work like he used to. He's tired and he shouldn't be there at all. But he really thought he was the man for this job. Like he could get Trump out of this and get all the power to the presidency. And there's a lot of stuff with money with him. He owes money? He might owe some money. Well, seems like all these guys do. They're all, and ladies. For entertainment purposes only. And he's scared of he's worried about being investigated later. Like I said, I keep, whenever I look at the White House, I always feel like people are grabbing stuff, taking stuff, trying to get rid of stuff. I feel like they're grabbing stuff for themselves, like to maybe, you know, screw you guys, but I'm going to take this because gets me out of trouble, that kind of thing. It's really gross. The atmosphere is very gross. Everybody's so much the same. They're all cut from the same cloth, you know, just looking out for themselves. And yet fitting, because that's how they all are. So, okay, I think that's all I got for you guys tonight. I'll be on in the next couple of days, and I'll do like my regular shout outs and everything like I've been doing, and I will, you know, have some more things to tell you guys, I'm sure. But I just wanted to thank you so much for all the stories and all of the, you know, comments, and they're just amazing. So just, you know, keep up that road that you guys are on. That's this kind of spiritual awakening that we're all kind of having together. It's great. It's great, and it's where we're going as a country, as a world. So it's happening. It's happening. So if you'd like to take my classes, there are 3 classes. They are recorded. Can work at your own pace. It helps you figure out your abilities. Goes from the very, very, very beginning, you know, getting a spiritual practice together, to any questions you might run into as you go. So it's a whole complete program, and I've gotten such nice, amazing feedback from people, breakthroughs people have had. It's really been such an amazing journey. So thank you so much for trusting me to be your guide on this journey. So you can go to intuitiview.com, and if you hit pricing, you scroll down and it will tell you all about the classes, and you can purchase them, and you receive them within about 12 hours of getting them, just so I'll have a chance to, if you do it in the middle of the night or something, I can get them to you. But usually it's in like just within a few hours, and you'll get an email that has the links to them, and you can start right away. I might have some openings still. You can check the calendar. That's right below that. Let's go in and see. If you're needing a reading right now, go to cardvoyant.com to my sister Kris. She's taking readings. She does recorded ones, so she can get them out to you pretty quickly. So if you need something, if you feel like you need some answers right now, she reads for me, and she's great. And I think that's about it, guys. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Bye.